So here we go. We dig up that old soil. What's the old stuff? The negatives, the worries, the past experiences, like just really telling yourself, like I got to a point where I'm just telling myself, like, no, we not doing that. Like, no, like it's not about just always being able to tell other people no. Sometimes you got to tell yourself no. Like, no, we're not thinking that. Like when I think a certain thought, I have to put a big X over that in my imagination. No, get that out of here. That's old soil. All right, what's the new soil? What we doing? What mindset are we in right now? Abundance, prosperity, miracles, all of that good stuff. That's the new soil. That's the paradigm shift.
Hey, you feel that? You are now tuned into You Feel That with Bryce the Third. The biggest tool that any of us have is belief. And if you believe that it works, like the shit work for real. You know, so.
Listen. I was just watching Genius, Kanye's.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And what I absolutely love about this God complex that this man has is that aside from his talent, aside from his gifts, if nobody else believed in him, he believed in himself, which is how he was able to climb the ranks. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many talented people do we know that don't know how talented and gifted they are? So they stay down here. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you understand knowledge, like know who you are and know the gifts and powers that you possess, people take off because it's laser focused because I believe what I know. So now I don't have a choice but to act in that belief, you know?
Because to know is to, like, we only know what we practice. Absolutely. So to know is to be in practice of the greatness that we've kind of understand ourselves as being. And we could talk about it all day, but the knowing is the actual being of it. And when you be it, like, it's just like breathing the air that you breathe. Like it's an inevitability. Correct. Yeah. Yeah, let's get into it. All right, so let's officially get it going. Yo, and welcome to another episode of You Feel That with Bryce the Third, the best mental, emotional, and spiritual development podcast there is for creatives and entrepreneurs. Turning, I can't do it until I got this one episode at a time. And today we have one of my favorite people in the fucking world, Miss Chase Miracles. And so this is the part where I, kind of like detail who you are and all type of stuff like that. But I think I'll go ahead and let you do that for me this time. So God, I can. So who is Chase Miracles?
Who is Chase Miracles? I'm getting to know this woman every day. I'm getting to know her, but Chase, I am. Okay, let me start with the I ams. I am this magnetic, spiritual human being who is here to inspire, uplift, and empower humanity, specifically women, but everyone, one breath, one step, 1 second at a time. I am an entrepreneur. I am a artiste. Okay. I am a model, and I am a mother. And I am a great fucking person. So, hi, I'm Chase Miracles.
And I second and third and fourth everything that she just said that she was. I affirm that.
Thank you. I am also a cosmetologist, so, which is how I got my start as an entrepreneur in the beauty business. And yeah. Okay.
Well, let's get straight into the conversation. I think, like, I've known you for a while, but I know even before. Okay, all right, Miss Chronological. 3 years it is, and 3 is one of my favorite numbers too. So that's a good number to be knowing somebody. But like, even I know, from our conversations that even before I met you, you have been going for a while. You have been going for a while in business entrepreneurship, and so like, where did you get so? First, when did you start in business? And secondly, like, where did you get that drive from?
So I started in business when I came out of my mother's vagina. So even like for real, like and that's why I'm so grateful, like universe, God, most high, higher power, because I cannot take credit for those simple things that keep me going because I was born with that. Even as a young girl, like I was selling my grandmother's beauty products, which at the time she sold Warm Spirit, which was a black owned company like a Mary Kay, but black owned for natural products that ironically, healed women and, just had different properties and their candles and body scrubs and things of that nature. So I would take her samples. I was calling like, hi, I'm coming up with a different name every time just so that they could send me free samples. I hope I don't get in trouble for this. Just so that they can send me free samples. And I was going to school like flipping that work. You know what I'm saying? Coming home. And then I had to stop doing that. They told me, I almost got suspended from school. It's like in third grade. Come back next year. I'm like, damn, what am I selling this year? So I asked my mom, like, Moms, I need you to take me to GFS, Gordon Food Services, to give me my startup so I can start selling candy. And I sold candy from the fourth grade until the sixth grade. And I stopped, started dabbling in hair because I always wanted to be a hairstylist. And then ninth grade, brought it back, allowed that to help me start getting my products and whatnot so I could, and that I was investing in my beauty business from my candy money. And then I landed a job as a shampoo girl, as assistant. And from there it took off, and I was 12 when I first started assisting in the hair salon. So by the time I was 15, no lie, I had a full clientele, and I'm like, all right, I got to take these people. I can't be traveling because I didn't have a license at the time. Things were going on at home. So one of my homegirls' one of my homegirls' moms said, hey, you can do hair over here. So I started doing hair in her basement. You know what I'm saying? Finally got to a point where I was like, all right, this is not convenient. Got my setup off Craigslist, man, shampoo bowl, the whole nine, blow dryer, hair dryer, station, chair. And from there, the rest was history. Graduated at 17. Went straight to college school, opened my first salon at 19, 20. And yeah, I'm on salon number 4, technically, of trial and error. Yeah.
You said third grade? Like you got suspended in third grade?
Almost got suspended in third grade. I had a warning.
And what was the reasoning that they were going to suspend you?
Selling products. I wasn't supposed to be selling products.
Get the fuck out of it. So I really feel like we should be cultivating this spirit in our kids. Like when we see that, we should amplify that and turn them up. And that's unfortunate that they would try to shut you down. Like, yo, like this is what you get in trouble for, like ambition. Yeah. Like this is what we penalize you for, like having ideas and creativity. That is interesting.
But is that not the norm? People don't even realize. Like I remember. So right now, Bryce, it's safe to say that I am a cosmetologist. I am an entrepreneur. I am a songwriter / rapper / model. You know what I'm saying? So I am an entertainer and a cosmetologist. Let's just break it down and not make it junky, right? I am an entertainment and I'm a cosmetologist and an entrepreneur and a mother. And I have my own personal life. Do you know how many times as a kid I could remember saying that I wanted to do X, Y, and Z, exactly what I'm doing now as an adult. And people would be like, you can't do that. You got to just pick one. Like you're going to either do this or do that. And I battled and struggled with that for so long because for so long, just until recent, I thought that I had to pick one. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm so lit every day. I'm so excited because the balance is here. No pun intended, is year 222. So like I'm finding the balance in doing the things that I enjoy doing unapologetically. And it's just coming with flow, with ease. And that's the name of the game. Like, let me let you know what you can't do instead of amplifying, like you said, what I can do.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because so when it comes to other people encouraging us to do the things that we see ourselves as doing, I've learned that we can only take somebody as far as we've gone. And so a lot of times people look at things that they haven't done, and might confuse concern with care by letting them know, like, you can't do all that because, like, I wasn't able to do all that because somebody can confuse concern with care with me and let me know that I can do all that, and I took it as actual care, so this is me caring for you, right? But then on the flip side, for people like us, people who are on the bleeding edge of really designing a life in alignment with what it is that we desire from life, what has that process been like for you to balance that slash, I call it that slash life, where it's like artist slash entrepreneur slash coach slash woo woo, right? And it's like, looking at it from the outside, it can be this thing where it's like, that's too much, or that doesn't make sense. How do you market this? How do you blah 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 blah? But it's up to us to make it work. So how do you make it work?
In my name, miracle, like, it's a miracle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm literally taking pressure off of myself to, yes, it's good to have a schedule. Like, this is what I do every day. I wake up, I'm doing affirmation, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. Yeah. Like, I'm getting out of robotic mode. Like, I'm in flow. All right, what do I need to do this week? All right, I need to write a song. I need to do 5 wigs. I need to make sure I'm on time for, you know what I'm saying? On time for work. I got to take my kid to create. Like, it's just understanding, putting in front of me what it is that I want to do and what it is that I know that, okay, side note, goals are like the landing at the top of the step. At the top of the step.
Run it back. Yeah, run it back.
Goals are like the landing at the top of the staircase. And there are certain steps that we take to get to that landing. And once we get to that landing, it's more steps to get to the next landing. More steps to get to the next landing. And it's this, ever flowing staircase of, this is how I'm going to be fulfilled. Right? It's not about, like, I'm over, like, making it. Making it is me. I've made it already. I feel successful already because I do what I want to do every day. And I'm fulfilled in doing that. So and I still do it, but I'm getting so much better, Bryce. Like, you hear the enthusiasm in my voice because I feel like I woke up one day and I was like, Chase, you made it already, my baby. Like, you do what you want to do every day. You empower people when you can. You uplift people when you can. You make people smile and feel good. You do these things for yourself and you're having fun while doing it. So my soul is already being fulfilled. So I've made it. I'm successful. Now the goal, right? The goal is like, are the points in the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm shooting my shot and I get a point. So the points may be the things, like, I want this type of home. I want this type of vehicle. I want this much money in my bank account. Those are the points from playing the game. But I'm still fulfilled in playing the game, even if I don't make as many points as I think I should make. So we call that winning and losing if the other team gets more points than I do. But what about just celebrating the fact that I got points, which is where gratitude comes in. So I'm being grateful for the points that I have made thus far and knowing that, it was a success. You played the game and you still getting points. No matter how much points you feel like somebody else may have.
And I think that's a good segue into what I definitely wanted to talk to you specifically about, which is intention. But before we get into that, because I know that there is a sort of spiritual inclination when it comes to speaking of intentions, setting intentions, right? And I know, like, we built some things together, some projects together, as including a friendship. And in the time I've known you, like, there's always been a spiritual element to our interactions. So, like, how did you first tap in with spirit, and, like, what does your relationship with spirit look like to you in your season of life right now?
Oh my God, like, my face hurt because I'm just smiling off the simple fact that I, like, the first 2 words. Okay, spirit, come on, kick it to me, kick it, blah, blah, blah. I am. Like, that's as like as simplified as I can make it. Like, those 2 words, like, I am. So it was like knowledge of, like, who I am, which was my interaction with spirit, myself, which is why I'm always on this self movement. I say that like not in a self-centered, arrogant way, but in a way of like understanding that I'm connected to all things. You know what I'm saying? Like that energy that, everything in this world has energy. You feel me? So we call it different things. We call it vibrations. We call it energy. We call the universe, God most high, higher power. But I realize that I'm connected. My spirit inside of this, my spirit is living through this human body to have this beautiful experience of pain and pleasure, joy and, dark times and, lighter times or whatever. And really, dude, I just realized like my first interaction was when I went through my divorce, and I realized that I was on go. I was on autopilot. Like there had been too many times I would pull up at work like, damn, I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? Which means that I was unconsciously living. So I prayed one day. I never forget. It was, long story short, it was just a whack day in my home. And I was tired. And I was just like, God, hi, it's me again. It's been a while. It's more like I feel like I'm not being purposeful. You know what I'm saying? I'm not being intentional about what I'm doing. I know I'm getting up, I'm going to work, I'm taking care of kid, I'm taking care of her, but like I'm not being intentional with my life, like what my spirit wants, which is why I'm feeling like I'm dead right now, like I'm on zombie mode. I need to feel alive. I need you to talk to me, not the way that you would talk to the next person. I need my special connection with whatever is out there because I'm lost. And I swear to God, like that happened like that. I was like, I put so much energy behind my prayer. Like I feel depressed. Like I just start like speaking to God, like, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, who are you? Where are you? And when people hear me pray, sometimes people laugh, like even me and my son. So I got my son praying like you talking to your friend. Cause we really don't know what we're talking to. We just know we put something out there and it's projected back to us. So I tell my son right now, like, get comfortable with those conversations because when you alone, those are the only conversations with that thing that's going to bring you back to your center. So my relationship with spirit right now is like, really like, what up though? This is what we need to do today. I'm not feeling my best. I need to get back up. I need my vibration. Like, what do I need to do? And I feel like meditation is so important because when you center yourself, and meditation is not always sitting like this. Sometimes I just wake up and I'm just moving slow so I can hear myself and my spirit to tell me, focus on what you're doing. Don't try to be brushing your teeth and thinking about what you're getting ready to put on. Just be in the moment and brush your teeth. Enjoy brushing your teeth right now. Finish brushing your teeth, wash your face, and then go into your closet and figure out what you're going to put on. All right, now we're in the closet. Now we're going to figure out what we're going to wear today. How do you feel? You know what I'm saying? So it's these moments of knowing that I'm connected to something greater than myself as a human, knowing that that power lives inside of me, that keeps me going every day. And that's what makes me feel like miracles happen. That's what makes me feel invincible. That's what makes me feel I'm possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm possible. Like, nothing is impossible. I'm possible, you know? So.
Yeah, talk to him. Yeah, nah. So, and then with that being the foundation of your movement, now we can talk about intention. So how important do you think, and this is a trick question, how important do you think intention is in creating the life that you desire?
I think it's very important to understand, first of all, what intention means.
So what do you think intention means? What is your definition of intention?
Intention is being present in the moment. Period. Period. Because everything I need is right here and now. I'm not being intentional, so to speak. I remember one day I was planning, I was doing all this writing, right? I'm like trying to figure out what next month is going to look like. I'm trying to analyze what last month was like so that I can make next month better. And I swear on everything I love, my spirit said, you too focused on things that don't even matter today, and you have not even planned today. Like, being present in the moment is being intentional. Like, me consciously living, like, whatever it is, like, not trying to overthink everything. Like, when I set my intention in terms of, you have different intentions that you set. So I intend to make $2,500 this month, just throwing something out there. All right, intention is set. I planted the seed. It's already done. It's done. You know what I'm saying? I intentionally already put something out there and it's done. I don't have to keep going back, lifting the dirt up from the soil to see if the plant grew. All I got to do is keep fertilizing it. And those are the steps that we take, right? We just fertilizing and watering the plant, watching the plant grow. So like, being intentional is knowing that I know what it is that I want. I know where I want to be, who I want to be, what I want to do, and what I want to have. All I need to do is my part. And that's just showing up intentionally. Understanding that me saying today is going to be a powerful day, I feel amazing. If I show up like that every day, I feel great. Today is going to be an amazing day. I'm so excited about what's going on today. That seed that I planted last month is being watered because I'm keeping my energy high. So then things just fall into my lap.
So, and this, I think, kind of goes hand in hand with the other thing that I wanted to talk with you about. And I knew that we would hold a great conversation about these two things, is expectation and kind of the Mario and Luigi, the symbiotic relationship that intention has with expectations, right? So when I called you earlier and, was just trying to check in with you to see how you felt about, hopping on a podcast, and you asked me how was I? And I started the investigation because you're one of those people where, cause you have people on the street where, they ask you how you are, and I'm cool. I'm good. It's been a great day. Right. But you're one of those people that when you ask me how I am, like, I will intentionally investigate to make sure I give you an honest answer, because I know that you have the capacity for that. So, but in the midst of me doing my investigation, you fucking interrupted me. Like, you're fucking wonderful, and you are the president of the United, and you fucking great and awesome and everything. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Are you fucking, like, you're right. Yes. All that. Right. Yeah. And so that, I think that's the role that expectation plays. It's like, okay, if I expect this thing to be, it ends up being. And like we started talking about, like, with knowledge, once I know, when we started before we got into the podcast, we talked about like knowledge and moving as you know it will be, like, as it is an inevitability. Like, in knowledge, we only practice what we know. So to practice that I know this thing, it has to be like, I have to expect it to be, and I have to expect it to be with all of my actions, with my words, with the ways that I move, with the things that I do. Like, expecting it to work a lot of times plays a huge role in it working. And we were talking about your stones, and you're holding your stone right now. So I don't have my stones in here. You're making me feel like I need to run out my studio and go grab my copper. Now that I found out it's a conductor as well as a grounder. No. We in a flow. We in a flow. And this is the thing too. Like, I think I channel that energy. Like, I think, like, sometimes I'll leave my stones at the crib and I'm like, I ain't tripping because I am the stone, and the stones work because I expect them to work, and then maybe I'll do a little bit of research on what this specific stone does. But once I have the context of the ways that this stone works, now I believe it's going to work that way. And so it does. Right. And I see the effects in my life. It's like confirmation bias, but it benefits me. Right. And I've had conversations with people that, well, there's some things that are just what they are. I don't necessarily, so I don't believe that there's anything. I think this is a conversation we need to have in public. I don't believe there's anything that's inherently like right or wrong, or inherently like inherently reality. Black or white. Like, I think we create that. Right. Yeah. Like, through whatever convoluted thing I need to do, I can maybe come up with a reason why taking your drink out of your hand is right for me. Right. Because, so we determine our rights and wrongs. Correct. So like learning to use expectations, learning to develop a set of what our rights and wrongs are, learning to develop an understanding of the way our world works and the ways that we want our worlds to work, and taking inventory of the ways that our world has worked that hasn't been beneficial nor empowering to us thus far, and reframing that and putting in place things that will empower us and will propel us towards the reality that we desire, I think is a necessary effort. And I think you're like a fucking master at that. So like, what are some of the ways that you put this into play in your life? Cause I know like all of the entrepreneurial plays, and here you feel that we mix together the spirit with the business. Like we mix together the things that motivate our spirit and motivate our souls with the things that are like concrete. Like, okay, we got to talk about the numbers. We got to talk about how we going to do it. We got to talk about how we going to take the first step. So like, how has expectations, how has intention, how has spirit played a role in your success thus far?
Would you like to breathe with me?
Let's take a breath.
Come on. Just like that. It's just like that. It's just like that. Like when I think of expectations, the first 4 words that came to my mind was to let that shit go.
Look, I know you was vibing and I hate to interrupt your flow. We're going to get right back to the episode in a second. But I interrupt the program for good reasoning. Look, if you are here listening to You Feel That, the absolute best emotional, mental, and spiritual empowerment podcast for creatives and entrepreneurs, chances are you're either being called to build something and are looking for where to start. You've already defined what it is that you're looking to build and are currently fleshing that out. And you're here looking for encouragement, motivation, and more context for yourself and your business to help you to continue to manifest. Or maybe you've been around the block a few times. You've taken something from ideation to creation. And you know in order to stay on top of your game and continue to win, you have to stay sharp. And you're here to make sure that you're perpetually the sharpest tool in the shed. So I got to thinking, what is one common problem that all 3 of these people share? Number 1, knowing who we are. We don't know who we are. Even when you achieve something, even when you accomplish something, it can be hard to figure out who we are, because once we accomplish something, things change. Life continuously changes. And in those changes, we continuously change. We cannot stay the same or else we become obsolete. And look, I could just hear your ears perking up. You may not know who you are right now in this season of your life. And number 2, where we're going. Whether this is your first time setting out on your entrepreneurial adventure or you're a veteran who spent the block a few times, the destination always changes, because when we get there, there's somewhere else to go. And then when we get there, there's somewhere else to go. So a process that allows for us to have a finger on the pulse of our internal compass, regardless of what the external circumstances are, is invaluable to our process of building anything great. All right, I hear your ears perking up again. You don't have a process. So look, you don't know who you are and you don't have no process. What if I told you I wrote a manual to help you discover these things within yourself? I hear those ears perking up again. The Handbook, a pocket guide for creating your desired reality and being a good human while you're at it, is available for purchase right now. Within this book, we dig into and develop a foundation within ourselves of perception, gratitude, understanding, completion, all of the timeless principles that will help you to discover your path for the first time or for the 12th time. This book will help you find yourself or remember who you are, as well as get clear on the pathway towards what it is you're looking to create. If this sounds like something you could benefit from, you need to go ahead and grab your copy. Head on over to brycethe3rd.com/the handbook. The link is conveniently located in the podcast description below, wherever you're looking at or listening to this podcast. You can even go on Amazon and search on Amazon The Handbook by Bryce the Third and grab your copy. When I first got started on my entrepreneurial journey, I wish I had a handbook to help me discover who it is that I am and where it is that I'm going. And now you got one. Grab your copy of the handbook today and unlock the key to your clarity in business and in life. All right, back to the show.
Let that shit go. That's pressure. That's pressure. It's no pressure to a god or a goddess. There's no pressure to somebody who understands that my soul know what I need, so all I have to do is show up and be my greatest version of myself. That does not mean that I don't fall short. That doesn't mean that I don't have shortcomings and I don't have these emotions that I have to deal with. But it's just a quick breath of my whole first project, Bryce, is what allowed me to really get connected with myself, because the project was from my higher self to my lower self, because I was in such a fucked up situation, excuse my language, at that time. You know what I'm saying? Track 1 was, I know it's more. You know what I mean? And the last thing that I say on that song was, you want to play the lead, Miracles is the show. It's that unseen, like, I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but I know that I'm being used as a vessel. So I don't have I'm detached, and I'm still detaching from expectations. Like, and it feels so amazing, because the things that I expect, if it was up to us, we wouldn't get the greater good of what the universe has to offer us if it was just about expectation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could just expect. It's like, example, you ever went out one night with one of your friends or whatever, and you didn't expect to go out, right? And you end up in a hole in the wall, and that's the best night of your life. It's the best night, like, hands down. Like, y'all hustling, ballrooming, whatever. I had one of those, and I'm using this as an example, so follow me. Last weekend, me and my sister, I was supposed to braid her hair. So the expectation was for me to braid her hair. But when she got there, somebody asked me for a ride to drop them off. And then we were to come back to the salon so I could finish the job. That's what we expected to do. Well, in the interim, we got a bottle of wine. You know, we dropped them off. We come back to the salon. We look at each other like, oh, I got to braid your hair. So we expected to still get the job done. We got into the salon. As we expected for me to start braiding her hair, we start talking about music. She's my number one fan. I love her. And, you know, everything went left or right, whatever, right? We end up dancing and just having a good time in the salon for 2 hours. One of the best nights of my life. I didn't expect to do that, but what I expected to do was not even equivalent to the enjoyment that I had and just being fulfilled and letting my hair down from just having this beautiful night amongst one other person. You see what I'm saying? So it's like detaching from expectation allows us to really experience everything that the universe has to offer. When I set my intention, you have to let the expectation go, because I can set my intention to do something a certain way, but the expectation could block the path that I really need to take to actually make that intention come to fruition. I'm going to say that again. When you let go of expectations, or the reason why we should let go of expectations, is because when the intention is set, my part is done. So if I'm so attached to how I feel like my intention should come to fruition, that may block, okay? That may block the thing that I really want to happen. That may block my miracles and my blessings, that path that I need to take, because I expect to go this way. I expect to do things in a certain way. But if I let go and allow spirit to just move through me, I'm really experiencing miracles.
Yeah. Yeah, nah. Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm going to say it one more time to the people in the back. When I set my intention, the expectation is out of there. I don't have expectations of, I got to follow this certain path. Bryce, 4 years ago, you could have never told me that I would be here talking to you, one of the greatest MCs that I know, on a podcast. Ooh. And that's on life. You couldn't have told me when I made that prayer, when I said that prayer, that spirit would show up and show out in my life in the way that spirit has showed up and showed out in my life, using me as a vessel for me to be able to see a power in myself that's so great that I feel like I can influence other people in certain ways, whether I'm talking about my pain or my pleasures or my story. And I'm sure you feel the same way. You look back 10 years ago. Would you know what I'm saying? Like, it's unexplainable.
Nah, and I gotta like throw a little bit of my experience in here as well, because there is this double-headed dragon of expectations. So you have the rigidity of expectations. Like, I expect it to go this exact way, and when I expect it to go this exact way, maybe, so it's like the whole thing where I want to be a millionaire, and I will not stop until my bank account say $1 million in it. And it's like, well, like for me, it's the or better principle, right? So the or better allows for like God, the universe, spirit, whatever you call it, to come in. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be a millionaire or better, because maybe like maybe for me, what I need is 100,000 a year and doing something that doesn't feel like work and being surrounded by great people. And maybe it wasn't even about the million. Maybe it was about my inner peace, and that's what I really need to be pointed to. And that allows for like the universe to come in and give me exactly what it is that I need, because I have faith that the universe will give me what it is that I need, right? So having intention, having goals, and adding that or better allows for God to come in and carry my goals further than I can carry them myself. When I speak about expectation being our superpower, I mean, sometimes we can, so a big thing for me that has worked for me in my creative endeavors recently is the phrase "expect it to work." Because a lot of times, like, I'll get an idea, and then the first thing that my mind will do is like start talking to me out of it. And I can't share with small minds, because if you share big ideas with small minds, like, they bring it down to where their mindset is, right? So if it's just me and I'm dealing with these counterintuitive thoughts, like, I've learned to inject the notion of expect it to work. If you got the idea, if you have faith, and you trust that there's something higher at play, and you got this idea for a reason. You are in the midst of your path working out exactly how it's supposed to work out. So you got this idea for a reason. If you got this idea for a reason, maybe the execution will work. We tend to ask ourselves, we tend to ask ourselves disempowering questions like, why can't I just figure this thing out? Like, but like reframing questions and learning to ask ourselves, like, why do I always get money? Like, why do my ideas always pan out? Like, why does it always work? And then the questions, because when we get to asking, like, why can I get it to work? Like, all of the reasons as to why it won't work pop up, with hence expectation. But when I begin to ask myself when I begin to ask myself more empowering questions, like, why does it always work for me? Well, because I tend to sit down and pay attention and listen to spirit. Well, because I tend to have more patience with myself than I used to. Well, because I continuously grow, and growth is a process. Well, because I'm here in practice and not trying to make anything perfect. I'm here shooting my shot like I'm supposed to. Well, because like Chase said, I'm not digging up the seed. I planted it and I'm letting it grow, and I'm just continuing to water and fertilize it. Like, these are the reasons why it always works for me. So the expectation that I speak of is the other side, not the debilitating, like, rigidity expectation, but the expecting it to work. Expecting right now, especially, like, there'll be instances where I'm confused, right? So I have like confusing instances in my life where I'm faced with something that I've never experienced before, and because of that, like, I feel like things are blurry. And what I tend to do is I'll focus on the confusion more and more, and the more I focus on it, the more blurry it gets. When I sprinkle into the pot my expectation of things always working out, and me being exactly where it is that I'm supposed to be right now in this moment, that allows for me to take my attention off of what is confusing and focus on what gives me clarity. And then, so expecting it to always work really makes it always work. So I think there's the two-headed thing to the expectation, where it's like, throw out expectations when it comes to like how things are, because you might not even know. Yes, when I first met you, I would have never thought that we would be where we are in our respective careers today, like we are today. But then there's the other side of expectation. Like, if I didn't expect for shit to work, if I didn't expect for my success to be an inevitability, if I didn't expect my peer group to continue to grow with me, we wouldn't be here either.
And I like when you say expect, which I agree 110,000% with everything. Like, it's just my belief. You know what I'm saying? So when you speak of that type of expectation, you're talking about believe it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you're saying I believe, and I'm saying no expects. You know what I'm saying? Because I just believe, but what we're saying the same thing. You know what I mean?
From you see
what I'm saying? Like, we're saying the same thing.
Semantics.
That's all. So in that regard, like I said, just understanding who I am and where I come from, and having that gratitude list. Like, gratitude is so important, because the things that has already happened that help us get to the point where we are now, or the things that got us through the last situation that we didn't know how the hell we were going to get through that. Having the gratitude is saying to the universe, hey, I know that you got my back, because you've already done X, Y, and Z. You already got me through X, Y, and Z. You already put X, Y, and Z in my path so that I could do X, Y, and Z. So I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I have a home, that I have transportation, that I have peace, that I have all of these things. Because even if you're in the space, like when they say like, thank God in advance or thank the universe in advance, you're thanking in advance because you already know it's going to work out, because you've already been in a situation where it worked out. So I don't have expectations of how things are going to work out. But yes, contradicting myself, I expect things to work out because I believe that things are going to work out because they always fucking work out. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's all the
Dropping
same.
bars.
I'm just
Dropping
saying,
bars. Yes.
I just wrote something and I was saying, I basically said like, I've been feeling good and I ain't asking why. I've been living good and I ain't asking why. Like, I go through all of these things that's going on right now and I'm not asking why. Why? Because I expect, right? There's that word, or I believe, right? That I deserve these things. Why? It doesn't matter why. I could not be a great person and still feel like I deserve. We all know some people who, need to be in their own bubble, who still have great things going on in their life just based off of just pure confidence. Like, I believe that I deserve these things.
So imagine what happens when someone with substance has this exact same amount of confidence.
Absolutely.
And then the ways that the energy supports that. And the heights that we could take it to, and when we get there, the breadcrumb trail that we could leave behind that is substantial for those to come up after us, and the legacies and the shit. That's why I'm excited that I'm here. That's why I'm excited that you're here. That's why I'm excited that like a lot of these tools are democratized, where we can put them in our hands, and we control the media. We can show up and we can perpetuate this message, and we can be the torchbearers that like show people the way, and that allow for people to pick these resources up if they choose to, because we're going to use them regardless of who chooses to use them or not.
Yeah. What else?
All that and more. I just knew that us getting together, we would definitely be able to hold a conversation that would be beneficial to the public, especially the listeners of You Feel That, who are putting together their business for the first time, who are learning to continue to step in the calling that they've been called to, and are dealing with things like uncertainty maybe for the first time, and dealing with things like building up belief in what it is that they're setting out to do for the first time. And I knew that them being exposed to you and what it is that you have to offer would get them some energy to keep going. So what would you say to the beginner entrepreneur right now, maybe doesn't even have a conversation, maybe hasn't even started that conversation with their inner wisdom? What is the first step that you would tell them to do to take that first step in what it is that they've been called to do?
Know who you are.
But how?
How do you see inner knowing? Like, you ever just had like a feeling? It's like that saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Get yourself ready for this journey.
How do I become ready? I'm playing a role now, but how do I become ready, Chase?
This is great. It's blind faith. Bible say, act as a child. Children never know, but they think they do. I can tell my son, go do something right now, and he has absolutely no idea how he's going to do it, but he's going to do it. It's just a thing that you just do, which is why I love Nike. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Lie to yourself every day if you have to. That's where affirmations come in. Getting ready is saying that you're ready until you believe it. You see what I'm saying? So you plant that seed. Bam. I just planted it. First of all, let's dig up the old dirt. Because let's say our minds are the pots. And let's say the soil is the formless stuff around it that brings the actual plant to life. And let's say every thought that we think is the seed, right? Let's say every thought that we think are the seeds that we're planting. And let's say repetition is the water. So here we go. We dig up that old soil. What's the old stuff? the negatives, the worries, the past experiences, like just really telling yourself, like I got to a point where I'm just telling myself, like, no, we not doing that. Like, no, like it's not about just always being able to tell other people no. Sometimes you got to tell yourself no. Like, no, we're not thinking that. Like when I think a certain thought, I have to put a big X over that in my imagination. No, get that out of here. That's old soil. All right, what's the new soil? What we doing? What mindset are we in right now? Abundance, prosperity, miracles, all of that good stuff. That's the new soil. That's the paradigm shift. You know what I'm saying? Old stale dirt, out of there. New fresh soil, it's that new mindset. All right, now what do I need to do right now? I need to plant that seed. What's the seed? I want to grow my business to 1,000. I want to sell, let's just start with 10. I want to sell 10 beauty boxes this month. All right, great. Seed planted. Now, what's the water and the fertilization? I believe that I'm selling 10. I've already sold them. I'm so excited that I just sold 10 boxes. I just got my first $1,000 off selling each box for $99.99. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful. And it sounds like a lie until you wake up like, I did that. The expectation is I'm going to do it by March 1st of 2022. Detaching from the expectation is continuously watering that plant to say it's on its way. Whenever it comes, it's in divine perfect timing. So to those new people out there, entrepreneurs, artists, whatever you do, if you just want to be a great parent, you know what I'm saying? And you feel like you haven't been the best parent, or you feel like it's some things that you're missing. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So get ready. Well, how do I get ready, Chase? You get ready by stating that you're ready, because you wouldn't even be listening to, if you're listening because you're ready, because you're not here for no reason. You see what I'm saying? So when certain things happen and they put you in certain situations where you hear certain conversations or something in a song that, you know, make you tick, you're ready. The universe is just giving you those small signs. We're already ready. We're already ready. If you're listening to this right now and I just said you're already ready, you're already ready. So I need you to bask in that. I need you to believe that. I need you to live that out. Okay, well, Chase, how do I do that? Because I just don't feel confident. Okay, so then, all right, bet. We need to work on your confidence. What we got to do? What are you not confident of? Oh, I don't feel like my curls are great. Oh, no, you're the best curler in the world, girl. What was you talking about? I'm the best. Before Kanye was the best, he stated that he was the best. Now he's one of the best because he always knew that he was the best, even when he wasn't the fucking best. Lie to yourself. And it sounds crazy, like, lie to yourself. That's what an affirmation is. I'm affirming that X, Y, and Z is to be true. And it's not I necessarily will, or it's not I want, it's I am so grateful that I now have, or that I am now this just positive bubble of energy that exudes beauty and confidence to the world. And let me say this disclaimer. I have not perfected this 365 days a year. I still have my days. But understanding that these principles work, Bryce, I'm able to always get myself back centered and grounded. That's why I've been waking up every day like, what up, though? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a great day. I'm so excited about what's happening today. And I'm telling you, like, every day been great. My client's like, you glowing? I'm like, I'm just happy. So come on, let me whip your hair up real quick. And my tips are getting larger. You know, my tips are getting larger.
Because it's contagious. Because that energy is contagious.
I'm telling you. Yesterday I went outside. It was $3 under my wheel, under my car. And I looked down. I'm like, thank you. My coffee's free today. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's those small things, but you gotta notice the small things. That $5 tip is just as special to me as a person that tipped me $50. Let me say this.
Because it represents the same energy. Go ahead. Come on.
Let me say this. Bryce, it wasn't until I woke up one day and realized that I've been into too many situations where my life was supposed to be gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in 2 car accidents. 1 car accident, I rolled over 4 times into a ditch on the side of the freeway, ended up in the back seat of the car because I didn't have on my seatbelt.
Sheesh.
Almost broke my neck. I thought I was paralyzed because when they were pulling me out the car, I couldn't feel. It was weird because it was like all the pain was up here, but I couldn't feel anything. They were like trying to get me to move and I couldn't move, but I felt the pain, if that makes sense. So when you think about all the situations, even being in sketchy places, being young and naive, you know what I'm saying? Like being in places that I have absolutely no business being. I think about all of the times that I have been irresponsible with my life or certain things has happened to me, and yet and still I wake up every day. So I know that my job is not done yet. Which gives me the confidence to know that there has to be something greater than myself in this human flesh that has to do something that is going to impact the masses. Somebody could be great at just frying chicken.
Not me.
But I'm saying,
the greatest
somebody
chicken
could
fryer.
be the greatest chicken fryer in the world. If you fry chicken like nobody else, you need to be frying chicken. And some people are multifaceted. Everybody don't have the mental capacity or even the want to even juggle different balls. I find pleasure in going to the hair, dropping my kid off at school, going to the hair salon, taking him to karate. Bam, I got a studio session tonight. So, hey, grandma, can you do this for me? Going to the studio session, getting home, waking up, picking up my kid from his grandma's house to take him to school to do that shit all over again. That's not everybody's path. So I'm going to say this. Here we go. Because now my spirit, now I feel like spirit really talking to me, right? When we get in the car, the rear view mirror is smaller than the front window for a reason. So same with the side view mirror. I'm not looking over my shoulder unless it's time for me to switch lanes to make sure that it's not a car coming. You know what I'm saying? I'm only checking those 3 smaller mirrors just for cautionary purposes. So that rear view mirror represents our past. Okay? I'm only looking back to make sure I'm not repeating the same dumbass mistakes as I continue to move forward in my life. Those 2 side mirrors represent those other cars. I'm not checking my side view mirrors to see what somebody else is driving, or how fast they driving, or what they doing while they driving. Because I'm just focused on what's in front of me being the driver in my vehicle. So eliminate comparisons. And I think that we need to, somebody just told me this about myself, stop being so hard on ourselves, because we still are human. No matter how spiritually connected or inclined we feel like we are, we're still human. And that's the entire purpose of life. So when we talk about detachment, it's like, all right, detach from certain expectations of yourself. I swear to God, whoever listens to this that needs to hear this right now, you might need to hear this. Just start waking up and prophesying your day. Just start talking to your day, because our days serve us. We don't serve our days. So just start talking to your days. Tell your days how they should operate and what should happen to you today. And, just start talking to your days. And tell me how you feel in the next week. At the end of this week, tell me how you feel next week, because you just woke up and you just spoke peace and abundance and enjoyment and fulfillment over your day before you even get your day started. That's our prayer is anyway.
All right. Well, this has definitely been one of the most enjoyable conversations that I've had on the podcast. And you are like one of my favorite people in the world. And I respect your time. So before we get out of here, I want to do an exercise with you. You down?
Yes.
So I got these cards, right? It's called We Are Not Really Strangers. Everybody who's been a avid listener and watcher of You Feel That with Bryce III knows that I'm a very big fan of this card game. And this is the self-care deck. So I've pulled out a few cards that I am going to pull out 2 cards from randomly. I don't even know what I'm going to pull, and I'm going to have you answer them. But I did look at this one, and I felt like this would be a good, because the whole thing with this being self-care, the self-care deck, I chose a self-care deck on purpose because you are a teacher. You are somebody that puts an insane amount of energy into other people and people around you. And what I've learned is that being somebody who is a conductor for the energy in other people's lives, it is madly important for us to continue to put the energy right back into our own lives and to actually fill our cup so that it can overflow onto the people that we serve. So that's why I chose the self-care deck, just to remind you, a simple little nudge to take care of yourself. And hopefully these questions maybe bring some things up inside of you that are appropriate for the moment. But this one, I know what this says. And what it says is, the question is, what am I proudest of myself for recently, even if no one else has let me know?
Going. I'm still going. Like, I'm still standing. I'm still going. I'm still standing. I'm still growing. I'm still flowing. I'm still glowing. I'm still smiling. I'm still laughing. I'm still enjoying life. You know, I'm still fighting off certain energies and not even fighting no more. Like, I'm just like, you know, sometimes I just allow myself to get my ass kicked and I get back up like, whew, that hurt. But, you know, it is what it is. Like, I'm still here and I have not given up. No matter what I've been faced with, I have not given up.
That's something to be proud of indeed. That's something to be proud of indeed. All right, I'm gonna pull out just a random question, and I don't know what these say. I knew what that first one said, so it was safe. Sometimes we can get a little deep. So yeah, let's see. All right. All right, so this question is, how have I been underselling myself, perhaps unintentionally?
Underselling. Not a prostitute, so I'm definitely. I feel as though in a lot of cases, I have to do a confidence check for myself. Even if it's about like self-promotion on like Instagram, for example, you know, for an example.
Instagram is fucking weird. Just to throw that in there. So cut yourself some slack. Have some compassion for yourself.
It is, for sure.
Instagram
but
is
like,
weird.
Even if it's something as simple as doing a simple TikTok video where I feel like, yes, I'm beautiful. Yes, you know, I have a voice. Yes, I have something to actually physically sell. But like, even with selling myself, just so people can understand me or, you know, get to know who I am, because promotion is a big thing about what we do. I feel like sometimes I slack unintentionally on just the small things. Like, I post a picture, or, you know, maybe if I'm taking a picture of my client's hair and I feel like, damn, my picture don't look like what it looked like in person. It's like, so what? You did it. It's beautiful. If that new customer went and talked to that old customer, she would tell her, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I feel like I don't do enough of self-promotion just to put myself out there. And I think that it has something to do with me being a perfectionist. So waiting for that perfect opportunity, you know, to do something where the perfect time is now.
Oh, yeah. Chase. Let me tell you, perfectionism is just procrastination and drag.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's what I found out. There's no such thing as perfect. Anything I've ever created, once I get enough space between me and it, once I've created it, even if I thought it was super perfect at that moment, I always look back like, damn, that could have been better. That could have been better. That's because I continue to grow, and the process of growth is continuous. It's perpetual. There's no such thing as perfect. So you're perfect. At this very moment, you are inherently whole. You are complete. Okay. All right. So let's, one more. Let's do two more cards.
Okay.
All right. This one is a wild card. What are 3 things I'm most grateful for in this moment? Shout them out.
Breath, Bryce, and my baby, the 3 B's.
Hey.
I am grateful for breath. I am grateful, so grateful for my baby boy. He keeps me going. Like the first question, I'm still standing, when I was in a space where things were not stable in my home, he would randomly play this song called I'm Still Standing from Sing. And it goes, I'm still
Yeah, this was at Elton John. Yeah.
Man.
Man, I ever know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it's like, spirit uses him to keep me grounded and focused, because things would just happen. And at the perfect time, he would ask me something random like, God is in me, right? And I would say, yeah, baby. So you told me I am God? Yeah, baby. Like, these are things that I don't want my 5-year-old going and talking to like other people about, because of how I'm teaching him
it can
to
get
think
different.
it can get different, right? So if God was anywhere in my body, where would God be? And I'm like, in your heart space? But it's a reminder to myself, like, my heart space, God, who am I? What are the, you know what I'm saying? And you, Bryce, man, like from day one, the energy was just up there. You know what I mean? Like, just always being right on time with a message, with motivation, with an idea, you just always on time. You just always right on time. Always right on time, man.
I receive all that.
Yes, receive it. Like, you are the example of all examples of all examples. And I love it.
Dang, that's big. That's big. That's huge. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for feeding into me and pouring into me.
Absolutely.
All right, so we got one more question for you out of this card deck. And I'm picking, and I pulled, what title would I give this chapter of my self-love journey?
I love you.
That's the title.
I love you. Like, I love you. I love you. I love you so much. I love you so much that I want the absolute best for you. And I love you so much. And I know that you're not perfect. And because I know you're perfect and you're not perfect, you're perfect and you're not perfect, which means that you're perfectly fucking perfect. I love you so much that I'm actually going to just wake up and do me today and not care about being pulled in 20,000 different directions, because I'm putting me first. I love you enough to cut off those bad energies that are no longer serving you, no matter how much you love them, because you love people so much, because you love you, and you treat people how you want to be treated. But everybody don't treat you how you want to be treated, because they don't even treat themselves that way. I love you because you are amazingly unique. You are divine. I love you because you always show up for you at the right time. I love you because you understand what is coming to you, but you don't even know how grand it is. So you're like a kid waiting to go into the candy store. Like, it's candy in there, but you don't even know what type of candy you're going to pick yet. Like, I love you just for being you, and just for still standing and being aware of what the fuck is going on. I love you for even thinking about inspiring people and uplifting people and just being great to people, because you inspire, uplift, and you're great to yourself. I love you because there is not a soul in this world who is like you. I love you.
Oh my goodness.
And that was to you too. I love you.
No, so look, you didn't even have to say that. What's crazy is you didn't even have to say that. And that speaks to the nature of love. Like, what we give ourselves radiates to others. Like, I felt that as if it was me. And that's the power of the energy that we give ourselves and that we feed into ourselves. The way that we take care of ourselves is the way that we take care of the world. What we give to ourselves, we give to the world. Yeah. That was absolutely beautiful. And I really feel like that was the perfect conclusion to this episode of You Feel That. And we're gonna hang around. You and I are gonna hang around and have a little bit more of a discussion around like intentional parenting and expectations and just some Chase and Bryce talk. That'll be something that we post on a Patreon page for the people who are Patreon subscribers. But before we get out of here, y'all know the deal. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star rating and review if you've really enjoyed this episode, as well as go and leave like a paragraph description of how this specific episode has helped you over there, because the more paragraph descriptions we have over there on Apple Podcasts, the more likely someone that's just finding our podcast for the first time will listen to this podcast. And if you want to be a fly on the wall for the conversation that me and Chase gonna have after the camera's cut for this episode, head on over to my Patreon and join as a patron. The link is in wherever you're listening to this podcast or watching this podcast on to join. Chase, before we get out of here, where can they find you? What's next?
First and foremost, my name is I am Chase Miracles. I am Chase Miracles. I believe in miracles. I think you should get up every day and just go and get it. Very simple, common spelling, CHASE, miracles, MIRACLES, on all platforms. What's next for me? I am currently working on my next project, which I'm super excited about. And I am living life. So you can expect to see more of me living life and hopefully being a positive example for somebody that's watching me live my life, so you can live your life too, unapologetically. And watch out for my next project. I have absolutely no idea when it's coming and when it's dropping and any of that, but just know that I am every day aggressively working on finishing this project so the world can hear it. Chase.
All right, so as always, be intentional, love on each other, and have compassion for your process. And we'll catch you next time on the next episode of You Feel That? With Bryce the Third.